Now, as you may have seen from the thumbnail of the video, or the title of the video itself, Fortnite is a bad game, and here's why. Fortnite is a co-op sandbox survival game developed by Epic Games and People Can Fly and published by the former, that being Epic Games. The game was released as a paid-for early access title for Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on July 25th of 2017, with a full free-to-play release expected in 2018. Fortnite is set in contemporary Earth, where the sudden appearance of a worldwide storm causes 98% of the world's population to disappear, and zombie-like creatures rise and attack the remainder. Considered by Epic as a cross between Minecraft and Left 4 Dead, Fortnite has up to 4 players cooperating on various missions on randomly generated maps to collect resources, build fortifications around defensive objectives that are meant to help fight the storm and protect survivors, and construct weapons and traps to engage in combat with waves of these creatures that attempt to destroy the objectives. Now, tell me where Battle Royale comes into the mix. Seeing the success of PUBG approximately 4 months prior, Epic began development on its Battle Royale mode for Fortnite, hoping to ride the hype train that H1Z1 started in January of 2015. Granted, the train started slowly, but momentum tends to increase as mass and velocity are increased. This is what began the influx of Battle Royale games in the coming years, and what started the Battle Royale craze, which will hopefully die out soon.
Ops 4 is the game that lets you play with your friends in more ways than ever before. And we drop you into a large, massive world where you have to survive to be the last man standing. I don't have to describe to you how Battle Royale works.
Or not. It looks like Battle Royale titles won't be leaving so soon, but they could start to decline in number as people stop playing them. The industry may get the message, seeing as it cannot turn a profit, and discontinue future Battle Royale games. But the likelihood of that actually occurring seems slim to none. Moving on to gameplay. I will try to touch on gameplay mechanics, design, etc. in order of significance, if at all possible. So let's start with combat. Combat in Fortnite is incredibly tedious and repetitive. You usually do 1 or 2 of 3 possible things. Those 3 things being building around like a dumbass, more on that later, camping, and jumping around in a circle like a retard until someone kills the other. So, I can understand why people build. It's a massive crutch. But why did they jump around in circles, spray and pray? It really should not be a legitimate strategy, let alone the meta for close quarters combat. Before we head over to the next big point, I would like to touch on a few things. 1, the lack of spray pattern in all guns. They are not hard to spray even at a fair distance, and frankly only really end up rewarding those who cannot aim by being reliable in such situations. 2, bullet drop is non-existent, except for snipers, which suffer very little actual bullet drop. Can't really see his head at all. Yeah, I can't see him whatsoever. There he is. 3, a common complaint for all Battle Royale games, but luck is especially prevalent in Fortnite. If RNGesus is not on your side for a game, you can easily get killed by the worst of players, simply because you couldn't find a single shield. 4, which ties in with 3, being weapon damage. Many fairly common items can easily one-hit kill a shieldless player, and many more can kill a player with even full shield. And 5, the final point of this section is hit reg. Fortnite hit reg is wildly inconsistent. At 25 ping, I can miss a shot by a literal centimeter, grazing the top of someone's skull, but another player over 12 meters away can one-hit kill me with a shotgun that was aimed at my feet. This issue may stem from internet problems, but a player possessing good internet should not be punished. Next is building. Building is a holdover from the Save the World portion of the game, which I described briefly at the start of the video. Building encourages players to play erratically and unintelligently though. Given such a large crutch, people will make stupid pushes that they should never have won in the first place.
I'm in danger!
and can even block bullets milliseconds before they would actually do damage, thus nullifying the well-aimed shot of another player who should have won the firefight simply relying on his or her ability to aim and their reflexes alone. Granted, one reason it is in the game is to discourage camping to a degree. It lessens the likelihood of getting eliminated by a player who was camping, but the building mechanic can be used to camp even more efficiently given the correct circumstances. Building also increases everyone's favorite game mechanic, head glitching. Although it is to a lesser extent in Fortnite than certain FPS games, seeing as Fortnite is third person and has tried to combat this to a degree. While I do not see the next subsection as that important, it goes with building, so I will mention it. Traps. Post-mortem kills are fine when they occur from a grenade thrown seconds from death, but a spike trap placed by a long dead player should not steal someone's chance at victory because they were too focused on other things. I've never died to a trap surprisingly, but I have gotten many trap kills myself, and I feel bad for the players I have killed, especially if they killed me honorably. Sure, they could watch where they're going like I do, but it is just a poor game mechanic that really has no place in a battle royale game. Alright, makes sense, dude. While they may not affect the masses, changes such as the hop rock or jetpack change core game mechanics and add so much variability to gameplay that they change many known or understood truths about the game. Someone who just hops on after a couple months could get eliminated by a buggy jetpack that was just added simply because they had not considered the possibility of this unknown occurrence happening. Furthermore, they may not recognize certain noises in-game and cannot feasibly prepare for something which is about to occur given they have never heard this newly added noise before. With additions such as the jetpack, even if someone were to play several games beforehand, they may not have seen nor heard the jetpack in that time period. What just happened? I referenced the masses at the beginning of this section as there is apparently a newly established competitive scene which could be affected by changes to the game. By the way, I am obligated to tell you that, quote, hop rocks are bad boys and shouldn't screw up jumping over half a year into the game, end quote. Pay to win. Many people say that the argument that Fortnite is pay to win is outrageous. Now, it does seem like a stretch to some degree, but it turns out it really isn't. Sure, not every game will be decided by who spent more money on skins and dances, but some games ultimately do. Certain skins actually lend an edge, seeing as darker skins can allow someone to hide in a shadowy corner and eliminate an unsuspecting player, or, given the time of day in game, can head glitch in a building or user-created structure and not be seen because of the color of their heads and or their upper body. Other games, such as PUBG or H1Z1, provide a ghillie suit to aid camping players, but you actually have to go get one of those in an airdrop every time you want to use it, rather than getting it every game from the start. Additionally, dances and emotes provide unfair advantages in certain situations. Emotes should not be intrusive to gameplay, should not give an unfair advantage, and should not allow someone to blend into the environment more than any base game mechanic. All of those things pale in comparison to hitboxes though, which are extremely inconsistent when emoting. If the hitbox of a player changes when emoting, it should not decrease the likelihood of getting hit. If anything, player hitboxes while emoting should be larger than regular hitboxes if they cannot be accurately mapped to the player's model. Dropping at the start of the match. While I do believe this is up to the preference of the developer, I do think the distance that can be traveled from the battle bus and the airtime of players in this state is inherently flawed. People should not be able to land anywhere if they want every single match, because it takes away the sense of uneasiness when first entering a new location during an actual game. People should have to get accustomed to the map, which seems to change bi-weekly in this game, in order to do well, so it doesn't take 6 games to know just about every nook and cranny of the map, but rather take 10 to 20 games. While I do not think that Fortnite holds much competitive merit, nor gameplay merit, I do see a positive in the competitive scene no matter how flawed it may be. Because Fortnite Battle Royale has been free to play for everyone since its launch, it gave players no real excuse for hopping onto the game later than current pro players. In regards to other Battle Royale games, Fortnite cannot really hold a candle to PUBG when it comes down to the intricacies of gunplay and higher level play, but it isn't PUBG, it's Fortnite. Similarly, PUBG cannot replicate the variability in gameplay that Fortnite experiences with its many rule-breaking and world-bending updates. While they may be the same genre, I do not believe that they should be compared, because biases always seem to bring the preferred game of one party above that of the other, with little, if any, actual fact being presented. In other words, shut up! No one cares that you think Fortnite is better because you can build in it and you can't in PUBG. Ghostman does Minecraft 2006. Your opinion is neither valid nor appreciated. Also, H1Z1 is a dead game. Well. So what's with the hate? Yes, I do inherently hate Fortnite, but I don't shit on the game and argue about it continuously like millions of retards across multiple platforms do on the daily. I hate the game. It is too flawed for me to enjoy it, recommend it, or even play it as a meme on my phone with friends during a study hall. I will even go as far as to say, don't play it, but what I say doesn't matter. That statement is purely opinion, and if you enjoy playing a game I hate, more power to you. I hope you enjoy wasting hours of your life for literally zero payout. Admittedly, that sounds very bitter, but that wasn't the intent. Pointless but enjoyable is all video games used to be, so they should not necessarily have to change as time moves on. Sure, PUBG players may actually be making money for every match they play because of cases, items, in the Steam market, but money should not have to motivate a player base to play a game. In closing, the Fortnite community may be toxic and lack the capacity to be good at any other game, but as long as they don't bother me, nor am I forced to sell my soul to the YouTube algorithm and play the game for views and subscribers, I'm happy to let it sit there with the other cancerous masses at the end of the metaphorical table and let it argue with other retards like the PUBG community.